make some other variations on shapes, just so that you have a little bit of flexibility if you're trying to model what you're trying to make. Probably we're going to have a fourth video that goes into how we can change the materials and that sort of thing. I do want to just bring your attention though to this stuff down here, because this can actually be really useful. So right now I've got the background as like the parent, and so it's showing me everything. So what I can do is I can actually go back kind of like step by step. And so if there is a problem, you can kind of restart over from a particular point, which can be useful. So for instance, I had a problem with the hole on this one here, and I might not want to go back all the way through everything else, but I can also just go to the hanger here, and I get a much shorter set of things, right? So I can kind of go back through, what was going on at that time, and you can see it shows the steps that are involved, like before we made the hole and after we made the hole, that sort of thing. So I can also go all the way to the end. You can see that because I started going back from the left hanger, everything that happened after that has disappeared. So I'm just going to go and click back to the background, and you can see all this stuff that happened after that is gone. I'm just going to bring all of that back. Okay, but it's a good way to kind of go back and really focus in on particular sections if you think that there's something that you need to manipulate from a particular part. All right, let's get to drawing some more things. So I'm done on this side actually, and I'm going to go over to this side. I'm probably going to end up sliding this like way over just to bring the center of mass further over onto the right side. But for now, I'm going to leave it alone, and I'm going to add some stuff over to this left side. So what I want to do is I want to create a new component like usual, and I'm going to make this left. I don't know what I'm going to make yet. So I'm going to make this left shape. Left. We'll do left shape. So it's going to be on the far left. My background is selected as my parent, so I'm pretty happy about that. Now I'm going to make a new sketch. I'm going to choose this axis as usual. And I'm actually, this one I'm just going to make, at least as the starting point, I'm going to make a rectangle. Could make a circle or something. I'm not going to do anything crazy here. So I'm just going to make a rectangle. Done. Done with my sketch. I'm going to extrude this. So I want to see what I'm doing. So I'm rotating a little bit. I'm just going to make it, yeah, let's make it a little bit bigger, right? There we go. Okay. And I do want to also just kind of get a look at this. And I'm going to just move it out just because I want everything kind of staggered in this thing so far. Obviously, if you're actually making something like this, things are going to be directly below other things. So I'm kind of doing this just for my own being able to visualize things. And since we're not hanging things with strings, we're using these like sort of imaginary joints. It's all good. All right, so I've got this object now. It's kind of boring. It's like cube-like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to modify some stuff. You can go to, create. I could, of course, I'm not going to do the ribbing stuff. I could, of course, make a hole through it. I could put threads through it, right? So there's different things that I can do. I'm actually going to go over to modify though, and I'm going to use this feature right here, which is the fillet feature. So I'm going to bring that up, and I can just use the F for it. But what we can do is I'm going to take, let's do the top. So you can do, I'm just going to do one face for now. If you want to do more than one face at a time, you can just click on multiple things and it'll just kind of like add them up. You can click again to take it off. So for this one, I am going to do, I will say you can do some things sometimes by, oh yeah, so that's pretty extreme, right? Like if I keep on going, but you can see the difference that happens just kind of by pushing down here. I'm going to go over here where we have some options. So on face one, I can change the depth of this effect. So I'm just going to do 2 here. Actually, that's not very big. Let's do 5. So I'm going to do 5 millimeters. And there's different things that you can do. So you can do constant or you can do chord length. It's not changing things by very much, so I'm going to leave that as constant. Okay, so you can play around with these things, not noticing a huge bit of difference. Oh, this is the one, the corner type. So you can have rolling ball or you can have setback. That really not change anything. It doesn't look like that changed much. This should look different. I'm not sure why I'm not getting much of a difference in the result there. But those are some things that you can do. You can also adjust sort of the curvature of it. So if I zoom in on this a little bit more, just so you can see, right, what's happening when I do this, right? So we can have it much more rounded, or we can have it straighter, right? So I'm going to do more rounded for now. Okay, so that's that side. I could also do, oh, I should have done, I can add a new thing. So if I want to do something different somewhere else on the same object, it's pretty easy to just add another thing here. So I'm going to do this, just this edge, right? And again, if I push in on this, you can see that it is going to do some things here. It will let me know if there's a problem, like there's an overlap that's happening here, right? So that's why that's in red. And it'll tell me if something's not quite right. So I'm going to do, let's see. So I'm going to do that edge. Let's do this. Let's make this 0.2. Oh gosh, I got my background in here. That is not what I wanted. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Let's try one more time. So I'm going to add a feature. I'm going to click on this. That's all that I want. So it's saying two edges because I've got this one here, right? And so it's just kind of combining these together. And I'm going to do, sorry, this is taking a little bit longer. I'm going to do 5, and it says it does not like that at all because it's interfering with that other thing. But yet it will let me do this. So I'm going to do that. And yeah, I'll do the rolling ball here. Okay, so I've done this. Let's see if that works. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to do one more thing, which will be a little bit different here. So that is the fillet. I'm also going to do the chamfer. So for that, I'm going to do something that hasn't had anything done to it yet. So let's go down here. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. So I'm just selecting both of those. So I've got two edges here, and here I can do a couple of different types, and I can also do a couple of different approaches here. So I'll show you what this looks like. I'm going to try to make it big enough that you can see something. Okay. So if I go and look at this, you can see it's just angled, right? I can change some aspects of this. I'm going to leave this one as equal distance. The chamfer, you can see that if I blend it, I thought that it would do something different at this corner. It did not. That's okay. Oh, I know why. Well, I don't know for sure why, but I think I know why. Let's do this. Nope, it's staying it the same way. So I'm just going to leave that alone. And we've got a somewhat more interesting shape than we've previously had by starting with a rectangle, extruding, and then making it have some different features using fillet and chamfer. So I can adjust things. I can make things rounder. I can make things a little beveled, basically. So it's a little bit nicer. Now, in terms of how this is going to work, I'm just going to want this to be pretty easy here. Let's go front. Let's do the top view so I can see how this is looking. So I'm going to move this because, again, I kind of want this to just be out here. Okay. So I'm good with that. Let's look at it from this view. So I'm just going to raise it up a little bit more. And I'm going to put a hole like right in there. So we'll make a hole. We'll put it in. I think I want to capture this position. Okay. So I'm putting the hole here. I don't actually know what that was. So hopefully it did not mess with anything too much. And I'm going to put the hole right around here. So it's not really. Oh gosh, that is not where I want it to go. Let's put the hole right around there. And I want it to go all the way through. And I want it to be about 3 millimeters. And again, I'm going to kind of like zoom around just to make sure it seems to be hitting everything. I'll make that hole. Okay, and now I'm just going to drag this down some. Okay, and now we can put the joints there. And I can adjust the exact positions once I've kind of finished this up. So this is taking a little while because I got carried away with the making different shapes. Okay. So I've got this, looks reasonably good. Now, one thing that's happening is I'm kind of getting. No, it's locking in the right spot. So I'm getting the front of that there. So I'm going to drag this down. I'm going to drag it out a little bit so that we don't have so much overlap in these things. Again, totally unnecessary, but it's just kind of easier for me to see what's going on here. So I'm going to drag this forward a little bit more. Right to there, it looks good. Okay, I did not realize I dragged it all the way down there, but that's okay. So what should happen then is if I click on this, if I click on the joint, I should have the ability to slide this, which I do. Trouble just getting it to just be normal. And I should also have the ability to rotate it, which I do. So everything's looking good for that one. And I'm going to do one more shape kind of quickly here. So I'm going to make a new component. So I'm just going to go back to my background. I'm also going to save. Oh, not what I wanted to do. I'm going to make a new component. That's what I want to do. And I'm going to call this car. Okay. So with my new car component, I am going to make a new sketch. We'll make this the background. And I am going to use the spline tool once again. And this is probably not going to be the best car that you've ever seen. It's probably going to be close, but maybe not the best car. It's pretty great. And I'm just going to add a line to it on the bottom. I think that's right. Okay. Wheels, I'm not going to put wheels on it. I'm too lazy right now to do that. And also I'm running low on time. So we're going to do this. I'm just going to pan this over so I can see this a little bit better. So now that I've made this shape, I am going to extrude it. So we'll just look and see what we've got here. My arrow is blocked a little bit by that, but that's okay. So I'm just going to keep it pretty thin, 20. We'll do 20 for now. I don't like the size of this. It's kind of huge. So luckily I have options. I can modify the size of it. So I'm going to go to scale. I'm going to click on this and I'm going to make it 50% as big. Okay. So that seems reasonable. And then I'm just going to move it. So drag it out to about here. And we'll slide it over some. Okay. All right. And now I'm just going to click on the front to get my front view on. And I'm going to attach this to that. So let's actually move it again. Oh gosh, that did not work out. Let me try undoing that. There we go. That's much better. So this dot is already where that's connected to something else. So I'm just going to drag this up to here, right? Somewhere around there. And let's go with like 67. Okay. All right. And we're going to make a hole. And I'm going to put it right around here. Hopefully that is not interfering with any other holes. We'll go and hit the all button and see if this is actually hitting stuff. Yeah, I'm okay with that. It's a little bit on the low side. Actually, I think it's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. So that should be 3 millimeters. We're set. I'm going to move this down a little bit. And then we will do the joint part to this. So joint, I'm going to start here, going to end up here. I'm satisfied with that. I'm going to move this again. We'll bring it down. We'll bring it out a little bit, just so that we got a little bit of clearance there. And get down a little bit more. Okay. Seems reasonable. Let's check the joint to make sure it's operating as expected. So I can slide it around. I can rotate it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to finish this up soon because it's getting pretty long. Let me just hit enter here. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit more and maybe pan down some, just so that we can see everything here. All right, so I've got my whole structure at this point, and what I want to do is I want to focus in on these 3 things. So I'm just going to go to inspect. I'm going to get the center of mass of this one, and this one, and this one. And I'm going to see where that center of mass is, right? So obviously I want the center of mass to be all the way over, like under this hole, because otherwise this thing is going to tip like crazy. And it would, if possible, kind of slide off, or be as close to vertical as it can, right? So that if it's vertical, everything will kind of be hanging down underneath of it, right? So I can model that, what I expect to happen here by, if I can click on the joint, this is going to want to basically spin. Actually, it's interesting. So I can spin it around like this, but I don't have a way to spin it actually in place, which would be another thing that I would want this to be able to do. So that's another feature that you could try to add. But that'll be it for this time.